Good morning. Fuck, I passed out again last night after I ate. I keep doing that. Maybe it's because like my body's so exhausted. I don't know. But yeah, I just like passed out after I ate last night. Damn, I need to wash my dishes. I need to edit my video. Oh, it's a bummer. I didn't do my workout last night. I'm getting fat again. Last night, like before I ate dinner, I felt really faint when I was like doing my acting stuff. I felt really faint. I was talking to my friend as we were doing like my audition. And I was telling him just like, I don't know, like I felt like passing out in the middle of it, but I wanted to get it done. Because also, one of the reasons because I thought the deadline was like earlier than it actually was. So like I thought the deadline was last night, but the deadline is actually today. So I actually didn't have to rush so much last night. So I could have eaten, but I didn't. Yeah. And last night when I ate dinner, it was midnight. So that's when I ate dinner. It was midnight. So I didn't eat that day for like 12 plus hours, I think. So yeah. Man, I need to really like fix myself and get my shit together. Okay, so it's May. Fucking May 1st today. May 1st. It's gonna be May. Fuck. Alright, yo. Alright, I'm gonna get my day started. Talk to you guys later. Peace. Man, I've like shit. Seriously, I just like freaking passed out last night after I ate. And also I just like ran out and put the garbage out before the garbage delivery or the garbage truck came, because we forgot to put it out last week, and like our freaking the garage smells stanky as frick. Man. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and wash these dishes and then fix up the freaking dining room table. So, man, I made a mess last night trying to like do all this audition and acting stuff, and then yeah, and I just passed out before I was able to wash my dishes. So. Alright, go. Peace. Yo, so I was just like looking at my videos from yesterday, and I only recorded 2 videos for a vlog actually. I didn't record anything else. I didn't realize that. And I think partially it's because like everything was so tight in my schedule. Like I woke up, I started working, and then as soon as I finished working, I was already working on I was already like prepping for my monologue class. And then by the time I knew it, it was already time for my monologue class. And then right after my monologue class, I like started recording for my audition because I thought the deadline was last night. So I was like very like time crunched yesterday. And I realized I didn't take any vlog videos like in between any of that stuff yesterday. So I just want to take this moment right here to apologize about yesterday's video. It's only like 4 minutes, if anything. Yeah, man. I'm still gonna upload it because like, I mean, I still recorded stuff. So, but man, I apologize. I really want to apologize because that's man, that's a bummer. It's like yesterday was like, it's not like I didn't do anything yesterday, because like yesterday I was actually really busy like the whole day, since I woke up. So yeah, that was interesting. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just finished editing my my vlog from the other day, not yesterday, and I'll be uploading that. Yeah, so man, yeah, it's not like I didn't do anything yesterday, because like I was basically like doing stuff until like 1 o'clock in the morning, like straight. Like all those activities basically took me from like 10 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. So like, yeah, but it was very time crunched. So yeah, I don't know. And then I passed out, so I didn't record anything else after that, like a conclusion or like my workout stuff, because it didn't work out. So like, man, that's a bummer. But it is what it is. All right, cool. Talk to you guys later. Peace. Yo, after I finish uploading this video, I'm gonna edit my audition from yesterday and then upload it. But I didn't record a lot for my vlog, but I recorded a lot for my audition. There's like at least like 20 takes in my phone from last night's session. So yeah. So I mean, I did record a lot, just not for the vlog. Okay, I don't know, I just wanted to say that. Maybe to make myself feel better. I don't know. Yeah. Cool. Alright. Peace. Yo, I just want to give a shout out to CV Acting Studio, Clyde Bernardi Acting Studio, for like posting these great resources for like actors. One of the resources that they posted was there's an open call from casting from Alexa Pereira, who's worked on shows such as like New Girls, On Becoming a God in Central Florida, Mary and Jane, a bunch of other projects. So that's really dope that she's doing an open call. So I'll put a link to that description below. So if anyone that's watching this is an actor and they want to check it out, like check it out. Another thing is they also posted, they reposted a talent search from Freeform. Freeform used to be formerly known as, I believe, ABC Family? I think it was ABC Family? I think that's what it used to be. Oh, man. Yeah, back in Connecticut, that was Channel 40, right before, I think, Nickelodeon. Yeah, back in the day, shit. When I used to watch, like, regular television, and had cable. But Freeform, yeah, Freeform, they're doing an open talent search from May 1st to May 8th, so I'll put that link in the description below if any actors are watching this and they want to check it out. Yeah. And then also today at 1 o'clock there's a sorry, give me a second. The freaking vacuum is like so loud. Okay, yeah. So later today at like 1 p.m. there's an IG live that Clyde Bernardi Acting Studio is doing with Ben Karlin. And Ben Karlin was one of the co-creators of The Colbert Report. He's worked on shows such as Modern Family as like a writer and producer. He helped produce the movie 50/50, which is one of my favorite movies, with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Beautiful, beautiful movie. And I think Anna Kendrick is in that movie too. He's worked on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. So yeah, like amazingly talented man, and I'm so happy that he's doing an IG live that's open to the public with Clyde Bernardi Acting Studio. So I really want to check that out at 1 o'clock because he's worked on a lot of he's worked on a lot of great projects. So yeah, I'm so excited. I love the process so much, even though it's really frustrating and like keeps me up all night, you know. So yeah, I need to be better about submitting these deadlines like as soon as they're posted. So I want to get started on these projects right away and just like upload. I still need to upload my thing for Ellen Holman and record that, my 1 minute short. So I still need to record that as well. Man, oh jeez, sorry, I'm just like so excited about like stuff, man. About projects, about submitting, about all these things. I love it, man, even though it drives me insane, especially financially right now. But yeah, alright, yo, talk to you guys later. Peace. Yo, I just finished editing my audition for his open call, but yeah, I really like it. I felt like the beginning was really strong. I don't know. I felt really captivated by the sadness in the beginning, and in the end, I definitely wanted more. I wanted to know what was gonna happen next with this person. I definitely had that feeling. I would say the middle is weaker than other middles that I've done in other clips, but it's still strong. I think it's stronger in a way that it shows different emotions. It shows a contrast in emotions. Like in the middle is like the climax point, right? And the way that I had rehearsed it before, it was like an outright burst of frustration and anger, I feel. But in this time around, it seems more of like self-disappointment and sadness, and that self-frustration, turning into more of an outward anger towards somebody else. And I feel like even though it's not strong in the sense of like emotional spillage and outbursts, of just like one emotion just like packing on, excuse me, I felt like it was strong in showing someone's thought process of sadness and more of like self-dissatisfaction into aggression, into like self-righteous justice, so I feel like that one was different. That was like the only take that was different from everything else, but I feel like it's strong in that way that it shows a different contrast of emotion. But yeah, the beginning is very strong in the sadness, and then the end with the numbness, I feel like is very strong. It makes me be like, yo, like what's gonna happen to this guy? And then the middle had a strong transition of emotion. It transitions basically from like the sadness in the beginning to like frustration to numbness, and I feel like those are the layers that I'm trying to aim for. So hopefully I get that across to the casting directors. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that film. I think me and my friend were at it until midnight, and we started around like 9:30, so like 2.5 hours of going through it and running it. So yeah, but yeah, it's really good, really enjoyed it. I'm very happy with the final product. And I like my opening slate too. I feel like it shows a little bit of humbleness. I'm a little bit too loud in the beginning. I think that's probably because I'm nervous with my slate, but I feel like it shows like a nice humbleness to me, which is like, well, calling myself humble is like literally the exact opposite of being humble. But like I guess a matter of respect. It shows like some matter of respect that I have towards other people, yeah, which I feel like I do have, but whenever I talk about stuff like this, it makes me feel like I don't. So it makes me feel a lot more self-centered. But yeah, I hope I'm not. I really hope not, but cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and send in this submission for this audition, and then yeah, I'm gonna start my work day. Well, I'm gonna work out and then start my work day. Cool. Peace. Yo, I just saw a memory from my Snapchat, from my Snapchat, and it's from 2 years ago. I'll put the link, or I'll put, not the link, I'll put the video, I think, at the end of this video. But man, that's a throwback. Excuse me. Man, that really brings me back. I moved to California 2 years ago, and I didn't have like anything. I was like hopping from couch to couch, and I remember I had this job over in Torrance, and I lived, at the time of this video, I was living in Covina, which is all the way in east LA County, like on the border of San Bernardino County, and Torrance is on the west, like literally by the ocean. And I would take the bus 3 to 4 hours one way just to get to work, and 3 to 4 hours the other way to get home from work. But the thing is, on the way home from work, it was so late that it was so late that the bus didn't go all the way to where I lived. So so the bus would take me, the closest I could get was like about 3 miles away, right? About 3 miles away from where I lived, and I would walk or run if I brought running equipment. I would walk or run 3 miles to get home after taking the bus for 3 to 4 hours. If I walked, it took me about like an hour to get home, and if I ran, you know, it took me like, I don't know, 20 minutes or less. Not like 20 minutes. It took me like 20 minutes to get home if I ran. And yeah, like, whew, that was, man, throw it back. I remember that day specifically too, because like in this video I'm like getting Del Taco, right? And I say like Del Taco clutch or something like that. And like I remember I was so hungry and I didn't eat like the whole day. And at the time I was also doing like at that time I was doing a keto diet. But like I didn't prep anything. I didn't bring like my peanut butter that I was eating, and I was so hungry. And so like on my walk home, because I was walking home, I was like looking for something that was open, but nothing was open. And then like probably another like half mile in a different direction, there was a Del Taco, right? So I was like, okay, I could either walk another, because I was still like 2.5 miles, I think, away from where I live. So I was like, I could either walk 2.5 miles right now and go home, or I could like walk half a mile in this other direction and grab some Del Taco and then walk home. And I walked to that Del Taco. I walked half a mile to that Del Taco, and yeah, grabbed my epic burrito for like $6. I think it was $6. Yeah, and then I had so much more energy, and I walked the rest of the way home after that. But man, that brings back some memories, dude. I was really struggling when I first moved out here. Not that I'm not struggling anymore, but I'm definitely more comfortable than I used to be. I mean, like, I have this place, which is nice, you know. So I have a stable place to live now, and I'm not hopping from couch to couch. But man, that was only 2 years ago, where I was literally just living on people's couches and taking the bus everywhere. I didn't have a car yet. I was saving up, like I was taking the bus because I wanted to save up money. I wanted to save up money to get a car, because I wanted to drive Uber, because I knew that Uber was a lot more money than what I was making at my job. So yeah, plus Uber would give me the flexibility to like work on acting stuff. So yeah, that was so, it feels like it was so long ago, but it was only 2 years ago. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like I've come a long way since then. Still got a lot to go. Still got a long way to go, but man, that's wild. That's wild. All right, y'all. Cool. Let's do this workout soon because I'm getting hungry. So, peace.
Like, I can do this, and I want to do this, and I'm gonna either be in a sketch group or stand up.
Alright, what up, y'all? Okay, I need to do this quick because I need to head out. But I finished up most of my workout. I'm gonna hold off on the last superset that I have to do. So today I did legs, or no, today I did abs. And so the last superset is basically the tuck jumps and the ab bicycles. So I'm gonna skip that right now, and I'll do that later tonight with the other workout that I'm gonna do, which is my cardio workout. But yeah, I need to head out in a little bit, so I still need to take a shower like really quick. Okay, all right. So this is the third angle. Let's do this one. Okay, cool. Yo, I smell like shit right now. It smells so bad. Cool. All right, seeing some progress though, for sure. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, let's take it to the next angle. Cool. All right, second angle body check. This one's gonna be really quick. Okay. Cool. All right, let's take it to the last angle.
this one will also be really quick. Cool. Yeah, I need to pick up my friend and take her to her appointment. So, yeah. Alright. Cool. I just realized, like, she said 2 o'clock, but the place is 30 minutes away, so I need to go now. Yeah. Alright. Cool. Alright. Awesome. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
What up, y'all? What's good? Yeah. So just dropped off my friend at her appointment. So I'm gonna go ahead and work while I'm waiting for her to finish up. But we had a slight misunderstanding on what time to pick her up. She told me 2 o'clock yesterday, but I thought that she meant 2 o'clock was the time that her appointment was. So that's why I was rushing earlier. But it turns out that her appointment was actually at 2:30, and she was asking me to pick up at 2 o'clock. So I should have asked beforehand. So that's totally my bad. Yeah, so I was rushing for no reason. I could have finished my workout. I could have eaten at home, but yeah. But it's okay. I still got her to her appointment on time, which is good. I mean, we barely made it on time. So her appointment was at 2:30, and I got her there at 2:25. So yeah. So I actually left at a good time. Yeah. So sadly, I didn't eat, like I said, and I didn't I didn't feel like I had enough time to make something real quick before I could go, like to take. So I ended up buying some food, and this is what I bought. Del Taco. Del fucking Taco. Bring it full circle. Bring it full circle. 2 years ago, Del Taco saved my life. You know, Del Taco saved my life when I was taking the bus. And now, Del Taco is saving my life from just my regular hunger. So, yeah. Man, bring it full circle. Bring it full circle. Del Taco clutch. Always. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this. Oh yeah, actually, so I just finished up listening as well to the IG Live with Ben Karlin, and super insightful about so many different things. First thing that was like really insightful was like about the collaboration process of the entertainment business in general. You know, he's a writer, he's a producer, and like, you know, there's a sense of collaboration in terms of everything, you know, directing, producing, acting, writing, like everything is part of a bigger team project to create this image that everyone shares, right? And you know, we talked about the importance of, you know, what an actor needs to do, right? And an actor's sole purpose, right? Sole purpose, like if we're talking scripted acting, right? Scripted acting, the sole purpose is to bring the words to life, bring the words of the writer to life, right? That is the sole purpose. And also bring the image of the director to life as well, you know? So that's our purpose as an actor. It's to bring people's images to life, you know? Like, we are the canvas that they paint on, you know? Or like you could say that the writing is the canvas, right? The writing is the canvas and the outlining of a painting, right? We are the paint, right? And then the director is the painter, you know? If you take it into an analogy like that. I don't know how painting works, but that's what I'm assuming. So yeah, so writing is the canvas with the outlining, acting is the paint, and the director is the painter, you know? And the producer is basically the guy that pays for all of it. So yeah. Yeah. So that's yeah. That's an analogy that I just made up, but like it goes on to say about like the collaboration process, right? It's a collaborative process, and like actors aren't the sole driving force of something, right? Like you need to be able to trust that the writers went through a process of creating good content for you to present, right? So your job as an actor is to find creative ways to bring those words to life, right? So that's something that was like really creative. But then he also talked about how there is room for collaboration, right? For example, in the audition process, right? If you're auditioning, right? There are some writers who are like really strict about the words, right? And not all writers are. Like he's not so specific like that. But he was talking about how like there are some writers who are like that, right? But the thing is, there's no shame, right, in doing 2 takes, right? So as an actor, if you feel that you have a need to try something a different way, right, first do something the way it's written word for word, you know, and do your best to present a good quality production of that, right? But then give a second take, right? Ask for a second take if you're doing a live audition, or you know, or if you're submitting an audition online, then do two takes. I've heard from other casting directors that they're willing to look at 2 takes, but make sure to put the best one as your first take, you know. And if you want to give a different perspective, or like maybe ad-lib a couple lines, right, here and there, do that in the second take, you know. Allow room for that. But it is risky. It's really risky to do that, just as a note. You know, don't be afraid to do it, but it's also very risky, so be calculated in how you do that, because that could also lose you an opportunity. So that's where you're taking risks. But, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to take risks in life, but just know what it means for you, you know. Know that taking that type of risk can be the deciding factor between you and you getting a role and you not getting a role. And then one of the last things that I talked about that really stuck with me was the business end, right? And he was talking about how, like, investors, right, how they get these movies produced and stuff like that, right? They have investors, right? Or these TV shows, they have investors, right? And the interviewer asked basically, why are there such a resurgence in remakes, you know, TV show remakes, film remakes, you know, why is there such a resurgence in that? And he made a really good point that I never really thought of, in terms of the business aspect, and it was really good insight. And basically what he said was that the reason why people are probably really sticking to remakes right now is because in a territory, right, where there's so much unpredictability, how do you quantify your profitability from that, right? And if you're looking at a business end, of course you want to support these images, right? But they're only as good as their word, right? So if their actual product doesn't give the results that neither of you were expecting, you know, it's a loss for the investor. So how can the investor quantify such an unquantifiable product, right? And the way that you can do that is through remakes, because remakes have the numbers. If you're doing a blockbuster movie remake, right, or like a highly regarded film or TV show remake, right? Like, for example, 21 Jump Street, right? When they turned it into a movie, it used to be a TV show back in the day with, I think, Johnny Depp. I think Johnny Depp was in that show, 21 Jump Street. But 21 Jump Street used to be a TV show, and they turned it into a film, right? A remake film. But the reasons why the numbers were so good, right, was because the numbers were good back in the day, you know? If the numbers were good back in the day, first of all, you're going to have all those people who watched it back in the day rewatch it because they want to see the new take on it, and then you'll have a bunch of new people as well who come into it and watch it. But you already have that base number, right? You already have that base number that you're going off of. Like, for example, the Star Wars series, right? The Star Wars series, they didn't have to make a new trilogy, right? But Disney was really smart in the fact that people wanted more, you know? So they made a new trilogy. And even if people didn't like it, people still watched it. And that's how you make something quantifiable in an unquantifiable business. So that was really insightful and really cool to learn about. So yeah, little tidbits right there. So cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and eat and then start working. Peace, y'all.
Yo, what's good, yo? Yeah. I haven't received an order for a little bit, but I mean, I made a decent amount of money earlier today, so we'll see what happens. Yo, can you hear JB playing the violin? Rehearsing. He's rehearsing. But man, earlier he was playing like a really nice piece, and like, yo, I felt so mafioso, like, for real. I was like, I feel like I'm in like The Godfather right now. It feels so epic. Oh, random. But I just got a message from a friend of mine, an actor friend of mine, and she asked me like, what was my acting technique, or what is my acting technique. And like, in all honesty, I have no idea how to answer that question because I don't know what that is. Like, in all honesty, I don't know what that is. Like, I know that there are techniques out there that I've learned recently, like the Meisner technique, I think, which is like the repeating thing that you do, and it's like you and your scene partner just like repeat the same word over and over again and say it with like building emotion and different emotions and stuff like that. I think that's what the Meisner technique is. I don't know. I literally don't know anything. I've never had any formal acting training, and I don't want to sound like rude saying that, or like, you know, obnoxious or like egotistical or narcissistic. It's just literally I've never had any real acting training. The closest thing I had was like my senior year in high school. I didn't even take a theater or drama class. I didn't take a theater or drama class in high school. But my senior year, I decided to audition for the school play, right? So my senior year, I auditioned for my school play, just because like I did like some of the background stuff in my junior year, just because like I like dancing, and I don't know, I just wanted to like do it because like I grew up dancing and I grew up singing, so I was just like, oh, it seems like a fun thing to do. So I did that while I did track my junior year, and like it wasn't time consuming because like, you know, rehearsals ran like really long, so like I would either go to rehearsal before track practice or go to track practice, or like and then come back, or I would like go to track practice and then come to rehearsal afterwards, you know. But you know, I wasn't a main cast member, and basically like whenever they needed me for a scene, like I would make sure that I just like showed up for that day. I think I also think I was injured. Yeah, I think that's what happened actually. I think I was injured during the winter season going into the spring season, and I was looking for something to do basically, to keep my time like occupied because I was injured, so, and I couldn't run, so I basically decided to join. Yeah, I think that's what happened, and I decided to join the play in the winter season. And then when it started reaching more towards the spring season, like that's when the show was going to be anyway, so I don't think it was a huge deal. I think that's what happened. Man, I can't remember. High school was so long ago. But yeah, I just did like some background stuff for fun, like my junior year. And then senior year, I was like, let me just actually audition for like a role. I didn't think I was really going to get anything, but I had no goal, intention. I was just like, it seems like fun. I like dancing. I grew up singing, so I feel like it would be fun. Never acted a day in my life before that. And somehow, my senior year, I guess I got lucky, and I got the leading role my senior year of high school. And that's the closest thing I've had to any acting experience prior to like taking improv classes at Second City, and then my monologue classes with Aerrol. Other than like those two recent types of things I've been doing within the past 6 months, I've never had any like acting training prior to that. I've had some acting experience on sets, like during my like sophomore year of college. That's when I started to really get serious about thinking about pursuing acting. So I would do like some small extra work for like TV shows and stuff like that in the background, just to get a little bit of experience and stuff. My mom helped me find some stuff, so that was fun. But yeah, nothing formal, so I don't know anything about techniques and stuff like that. But one of my goals is that, when I can afford it, I would love to go ahead and take classes over at Stella Adler, just because I know that they have a great program over there, and there have been a lot of great notable people that have come from there. And even if like my career starts, like it gets started, I still want to take those classes and stuff like that, because I want to improve as an actor. I watched this is funny, I actually I was watching I think it was the Hot Ones episode with DJ Snake. I think it was DJ Snake. Oh man, I can't remember. I feel bad. But I'll put a link to that video in the description below. But I was watching his Hot Ones, and then he was talking about how like when into the beginning of him taking his DJing classes, right? That's when he got his hit, and that's when he got famous, But he was after that he still continued to take classes because he wanted to get better at the craft, because he was still a novice, you know, in terms of like his career in DJing. But he got a really great opportunity and was able to, you know, get a hit and do tours, you know. And so while he was touring and stuff, he was still taking classes and trying to improve himself because he wanted to continue learning. And he knew that there's, you know, some great talent and great teachers over at the school. So he continued to take classes, and that's like super inspirational. It's a completely different field than what I'm doing, but it's the same mindset. It's like, you should, just because you reach a certain point in your life doesn't mean that you should limit yourself from continuing to progress, you know? And even if I reach a certain point in my career, I still want to keep progressing as an actor, because I know, like, man, I like this. It's a very self-degrading thought, I guess, but like, you know, I know I'm way behind everyone else, you know? Or at least that's how I think of myself, you know? I'm like way behind a lot of other people. And in order to like show that respect to the craft, you know, I don't want to just like jump into this and be like, you know, and once I reach a certain point, be content, you know. It's a craft, it's an art, and you need, like, if you want to pursue it, you need to be serious about it, and you need to keep improving yourself in order to keep progressing. So that's something that I want to continue doing, even if I reach a certain point in my career. So one of the goals is to take classes over at Stella Adler when I can afford it. But right now I'm taking classes at Second City because they're a little bit more affordable. Plus, I watched a roundtable interview. If I can find it, I'll put a link in the description below. But I found a roundtable interview with Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey said, basically, this is what he said. He said, if you want to become an actor, don't take acting classes, take improv classes, because all we do in life is bullshit, and improv is the best way to learn how to bullshit. So you can take what you learn from improv into acting, and you can also take it into real life. So that's like, that was like, the last like sentence was like a little bit more ad-libbed, but he mentioned something about that. I just can't remember the exact quote, but that's around the gist of what he said, and that inspired me to take improv classes. So I researched like the best places to take improv here in LA, and Second City was one of the ones that popped up along with Groundlings and UCB. And I just decided to go to Second City, and I've loved every single second of it. So I've learned so much from that, just to take in real life, and also to take into my acting, like, seriously. So yeah, so I'm gonna continue taking classes there and go through with the full program. And whenever I can afford Stella Adler, you know, I'll start taking classes over at Stella Adler. So yeah, just my little thought process, but just wanted to give a little insight into my life. So I kind of like came into acting by chance, because like my senior year, when I got that role for the lead and learned what acting was, I really loved it. I loved I really loved it. I loved being in it. I loved everyone involved in it. Like, I don't know if like the people I did it would remember, but like, I mean, like, I gave a lot of praise to like the production crew, you know, as well. And I was really close with like a lot of the production crew, because they, like, without them, and like as well as the extras in the background, because like without any of those people, there's no show, you know. You can't just have a show with a leading cast, you know. So I gave a lot of credit to a lot of the people in the background, because like those people are the ones that really make the show, in all honesty. Like something that my I guess at the time our choreographer for like the senior show, something that he had told us was like, you know, if you watch theater and watch plays, because like growing up, my parents would take us to Broadway shows and stuff, but never really thought too much of it. I was just like, oh, this is cool, kind of. I also kind of slept through some of them, but they did take us to some really good shows, and something that our choreographer had said, like, just because you're in the background doesn't mean that you don't add anything to the space, you know. And it's so true. And then he was like look at all these shows. I forgot what show he named, but he was like, look at this show, right? Look at everyone working in the background. How much attitude do they add to the atmosphere? You know, they're the ones that build the atmosphere basically. And like, that's something not to be taken for granted, because you can have a show with your leading actors, but if there's nothing behind it, then you don't have a world to live in, something like that. So that was like something I took really to heart. And I would always talk to, you know, everyone in the cast and, you know, gauge how they're feeling, because I want them to feel comfortable with like whatever role they have, because every role is important, you know. So yeah, because in all honesty, every role is important. Like in life, like everything is a team effort. I talked about this earlier with you know, the painting and all this stuff like that, in terms of like the acting industry, you know. Everything is a team effort in life, you know. So you can't get anywhere just by yourself. You know, you can get far by yourself for sure, but at some point you're gonna need to work with other people if you want to keep progressing further. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Cool. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Peace.
Yo, made some dinner, some more pasta and chicken, but hopefully the goal is to not pass out after I eat. Man, this couch is just way too comfy. But yeah, I just had our D&D session. This is the new campaign called the Prince of Algeria, and yeah, it's a fun one. Really into the role-playing aspect. I think all of us are kind of into our role-playing roles, which is fun to play with. So yeah, this time it was like completely just like off board and just completely like role-playing 100%. So, and like information gathering and stuff. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. I have another D&D session tomorrow, and that's the original one. So excited for that. Ready to continue with that story and that dungeon. What else? I've been I got reconnected with one of my old friends from back in Danbury in Connecticut, and he brought up a memory of, basically it was like it wasn't the first time, but it was one of the first times that I sang in public, and it was actually at a Christian retreat. I believe it was Fan the Fire, and went there with my youth group. And yeah, it just, I don't know what inspired me to, but me and my brother played the guitar and then I sang, and then the youth minister, and she's also the choir organizer. She was opening up to me before, you know. She was talking to me before. She was like the only one there that would talk to me, because I felt very left out, because I was a public school kid, and everyone there in the youth group were all classmates in the private school, you know. And even if some of them transferred over to the public school when we were in high school, all of them had grew up together in private, like, you know, elementary school and middle school and stuff. So I felt like it was hard for me to fit in. I just felt very left out. And honestly, I felt really depressed every single time I went to my youth group meetings. I just didn't feel like I was included. But she would always talk to me, like the youth group minister. She would always talk to me, and she would always, you know, ask me how I'm feeling. Even if we didn't talk too much, she would always just ask me how I'm feeling, you know. And I would always just say, I'm okay. I feel okay, you know. I wouldn't make anything about it. And she wouldn't pry on me either. So, but after singing at Fan the Fire, we got a little bit closer. You know, she asked me to do a solo with the choir and stuff, and I started singing with the choir more. And yeah, I opened up to her a little bit more, but before I had really started to come out of my shell, she transferred to a different place. And you know, she really helped me through a tough time in my life, just from like her, even though we didn't talk too much, you know, just her saying like hello and how are you and acknowledging me, you know, even though there are like, you know, 20 other kids there who are like actively talking and stuff. The fact that she always acknowledged me meant a lot to me, you know. And my friend, you know, he recently told me that that she has cancer, and I haven't kept up with her at all since like she moved away, because like I was young. I think I was like a freshman in high school when she moved over, and I just like, you know, I didn't know how to keep in touch with her. Plus at the time I still hadn't broken out my shell, so I like, you know, I wasn't really, you know, state of mind to like keep up with people. But now, after my friend told me that, I found her on Facebook, because it brought back like all those memories that I kind of like hid just because that was a tough time in my life. And yeah, it was around the time my dad had his heart attack, when she was our youth minister. And you know, I was dealing with a lot of depression after my dad's heart attack. Yeah, and a lot of self-reflection on my life and being not happy with the person that I was, because I was really, I honestly feel this way. And like when I tell people about the stuff that I did, like I was a really, really shitty person before in middle school. All middle schoolers are really, you know, shitty, I guess. But you know, they're, you know, it's a very bratty period, you know. But I remember I did a lot of stuff that hurt other people in middle school, and I regret that so much. And in high school I apologized to as many of them as I could. But yeah, that was a big time of self-reflection, and I was very depressed, because I realized the person that I was, and I could never take back what I did to other people. So, but that's why I try my best now to make sure other people are heard. And you know, especially, this is something that I took actually from her, you know, my youth minister. The fact that even if we didn't have a conversation, she would just acknowledge me and say hello. You know, when I got to when I got more comfortable and got out of my shell, like in college, and even in my senior year in high school, especially during the play in my senior year, I would always ask, you know, everyone how they were feeling. You know, I would always talk to everybody, even if I'd never talked to them before in my life, or even if they were by themselves. I would just always talk to them and ask them how they're doing. And even in college, it was the same thing. You know, I would just say, hey, how are you doing? You know, if like, you know, in our Filipino group, for example, if there's ever anybody sitting by themselves or not really socializing, I would always just sit there and socialize with them and just talk. Even if it was just like, hey, how's it going? And just like being in each other's space, but not really saying too much. You know, I would do that. And one of, you know, in my eyes, one of my closest friends, we've had like some differences, and you know, I still think of him as a close friend. You know, we ended up becoming friends from just like me kind of invading his space a little bit. You know, but I think he appreciated it. But yeah, I always try to make sure that everyone, like now especially, I always try to make sure everyone is having a good time. And you know, even if they're not having a good time, just feeling like they're included, you know, because the feeling of trying to join something and just feeling so set apart from the pack, it's a terrible feeling. And I know how that feels, and I know how I've made other people feel, you know. So yeah. So basically what I'm trying to say is like, hey, if you ever see somebody that is in a group and they don't really look like they're comfortable talking to anybody, or they seem, you know, they seem like just, you know, a little standoffish and alone, don't be afraid to speak to them and just say, hey, how are you doing, man? Or girl, you know, how are you doing? You know, and just, that's it. That's all you have to say, you know? You don't have to say too much more. Just like acknowledge them. Acknowledge them that they're in that space, you know? And that you appreciate that they're there. So that's it. I did find my old youth minister on Facebook, so I'm gonna send her a message, and I want to thank her for everything that she did for me, because even if she doesn't know what happened in my life, you know, she really helped me out during that time just by those small gestures. So cool. All right, y'all, I'm gonna eat. Hopefully I don't pass out. Talk to you later.